What's up, YouTube? How you doing? What's happening? This video gonna be about top 75 player, Alex English or Dwight Howard. I was asked this originally, and who do I think would have made a better top 75 player of the two? Alex English led the NBA in scoring in the 80s, and that's quite an incredible feat when you consider the talent that was there and everybody that was involved. If I told you that that guy in an era with a Bernard King, with a Dominique Wilkins, with a Michael Jordan, um, with a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, with a Julius Erving, with a Moses Malone, would be leading the league, you might think, "Wow, really?" And the likes, because there were some very talented players back then. There were guys who were quite prolific, productive, you know. But he was the leading scorer. He even on the same team as Dan Issel, who was a incredible scorer. So it's interesting when you think about it. Now, as great as he was as a scorer, and I thought he would be incredible. And I will say this: the ironic thing is, of the two, I do think that Alex English could probably fit in good with the Denver Nuggets today. I don't know about Dwight Howard playing today because he wasn't a big scorer. His defense is great, but his offensive game left a little bit to be desired because I don't think he got enough of his points. So do I think that of the two, who would hit better? I'd say Alex English if we're talking about today. Now, asking me who should belong in the top 75, I got to say Dwight Howard because Dwight, with the scoring titles, he had an impact on the Lakers' bubble ring, and he did lead Orlando to the finals in 2009. They lost to the Lakers 4-1. He was an integral part, and he was the kind of guy that had an impact where you could say that he could be an integral part. So I do think that the White would loan himself to that. I think top 75 when you think about the accolades and the impact of the two, you know. It's interesting because, man, if you could combine those two guys' skill set, you'd have a guy that would probably be in the top 26 or 27. If you put Alex English scoring ability with Dwight Howard's defense and you combine the two, it would be an incredible thing. But it's a good, usually I'm not a fan of what I call cross contamination about guys, but I can make a debate here because they both were guys that you can make cases for who had impact, who were had some impact. I think the White's impact's a bit more though, if I'm honest. I think the Dwight Howard, what he did with his defense was a bit more impactful than Alex English. But I like Alex English a whole lot. And it's not easy just to say that like a blowout because again, I have to take things into consideration. But I'd have to say Dwight Howard of the two. But it's a good topic. It's a good debate. It's a good discussion. And it definitely makes for what we call a kind of situation where you're kind of like, yeah, I have to kind of juggle it. And I could see that. I could so see that. I could really see it being a situation where it loans itself for that. It's definitely something that loans itself for that. So I would definitely take that in consideration. But who would you say would make their top 75 out of Alex English or Dwight Howard? And what's your criteria? Please hit like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear, watch out for another. Share it if you like, hit that membership because when you do requests like this come true. Shout out to Jay Will for that request. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. I'm out one time. Peace.